The miraj refers to the miraculous night journey of the Islamic prophet Muhammad. The miraj is a significant event in Islamic tradition, where it is believed that the Prophet Muhammad traveled from Mecca to Jerusalem, and then ascended through the heavens, encountering various prophets and beings, and ultimately reaching close proximity to the divine presence. It is mentioned in the Quran in Surah Al-Isra, chapter 17, where it describes a portion of the journey. The full account of the miraj is found in various hadith collections, which are records of the sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad. When the Prophet told of this event in Mecca, some Muslims became skeptical and some remained faithful to him. From a logical perspective, humans cannot move from Mecca to Beit al-Maqdis, ascend to the sky, and return to Mecca in one night. Then he tests the believers whether they will believe in what he says or not. Thus is the faith of men. All of us will be tested whether we are believers or not. The greater the test, the greater the reward for the believers. Allah says, "Do people think they will be left alone after saying, 'We believe,' without being put to the test?" Al-Ankabut 29, 2. Persecution of the Muslims by the Quraysh was at its peak. 3-year siege and boycott from trading, marrying or feeding them. The Quraysh, who were his tribe and his family, constantly ridiculed, humiliated and oppressed the Prophet, and his followers. Lost his beloved wife Khadija, and his uncle Abu Talib, who was his protector and ally. In addition to all these burdens, when the Prophet, had traveled to Taif to spread the Islamic message, the people of Taif had rejected him in the most cruel way, sending their children into the streets to stone him until he left the city. Having gone through so much grief and suffering, the Prophet Muhammad, was given a truly beautiful and comforting gift. He was transported not only to the sacred sanctuary and through the skies, but ultimately into the divine presence, the source of all comfort and hope. One of the most important lessons of Al-Isra, wal Miraj, therefore, is that, with every hardship, there will be ease. Ash-Shah, 94. 5. The Miraj holds several important lessons and teachings within Islamic theology and spirituality. 1. Faith and belief. The story of the Miraj underscores the importance of faith and belief in the unseen. For Muslims, the journey serves as a confirmation of the truth of Muhammad's prophethood and the reality of the unseen world. 2. Submission to God's will. The journey of the Miraj highlights the concept of submission, Islam, to the will of God. Despite the profound experiences and challenges encountered during the journey, Muhammad remained obedient and submitted to the commands of God. 3. Ascension of the soul. The Miraj symbolizes the ascension of the soul towards the divine. It teaches believers about the spiritual journey towards God, which involves purification, elevation, and proximity to the divine presence. 4. Intercession. During the Miraj, Muhammad is said to have interceded on behalf of his followers, seeking God's mercy and forgiveness for them. This emphasizes the concept of intercession in Islam and the Prophet Muhammad's role as a mediator between God and humanity. 5. Hierarchy of spiritual realms. The journey through the heavens in the Miraj illustrates the hierarchical nature of the spiritual realms in Islamic cosmology. Each level represents different degrees of closeness to the divine and serves as a reminder of the multifaceted nature of the universe. 6. Humility. Despite the exalted status granted to him during the Miraj, Muhammad maintained humility and acknowledged his limitations as a human being. This teaches believers the importance of humility before the divine and towards fellow human beings. 7. Hope and inspiration. The Miraj serves as a source of hope and inspiration for Muslims, reminding them of the ultimate reward awaiting those who remain steadfast in faith and obedience to God. The night journey and ascension can be summarized as follows. 1. Start of the journey. The journey began when the angel Jibril, came to Muhammad in Mecca while he was resting near the Kaaba. Gabriel led Muhammad to the rock known as the Rock of Israfil, where a winged creature named Barak awaited them. 2. Travel to Jerusalem, Isra, riding on the Barak. Muhammad and Gabriel traveled to Jerusalem in a very short time. There, they arrived at the site of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the farthest mosque, which is believed to be the Dome of the Rock. 3. Prayer with prophets. Upon reaching Jerusalem, Muhammad led the prophets, including Abraham, Moses, and Jesus, in prayer at the Al-Aqsa Mosque. This emphasizes Muhammad's status as the seal of the prophets and the unity of the Abrahamic faiths. 4. Ascension to the heavens, miraj. After the prayer, Muhammad ascended through the heavens accompanied by Gabriel. During this journey, he encountered various celestial realms, met with other prophets, and witnessed divine signs. 5. Meeting with God. At the highest point of the heavens, known as Sidrat al-Muntaha, Muhammad had a direct encounter with God. This encounter is described in mystical terms, emphasizing the closeness between the prophet and the divine. 6. Revelation of prayer. During the Miraj, the 5 daily prayers, salah, were prescribed for Muslims. Initially, Allah ordained 50 prayers a day for Muhammad's followers. However, through the Prophet's intercession, the number was reduced to 5, with the reward of 50 prayers. 7. Return to earth. After the encounter with God and receiving the commandment of the 5 daily prayers, Muhammad returned to Jerusalem and then to Mecca, completing the miraculous journey. The events of the Miraj, or the night journey and ascension of the Prophet Muhammad, are described in Islamic tradition as a miraculous journey that took place during a single night. The journey is divided into 2 main parts: the Isra, the night journey, and the Miraj, the ascension. Here's a detailed overview of the events. 1. The Isra, night journey. The night journey began when the angel Gabriel, Jibril, came to Muhammad while he was sleeping near the Kaaba in Mecca. Gabriel presented a miraculous creature called Buraq to Muhammad, which resembled a winged horse or mule. Buraq was to be Muhammad's mount for the journey. Mounted on Buraq, Muhammad traveled at supernatural speed from Mecca to Jerusalem, covering vast distances in a very short time. This part of the journey is known as the Isra, meaning night journey. Upon reaching Jerusalem, Muhammad tethered Buraq at the site of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the farthest mosque. 2. Events in Jerusalem. Inside the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Muhammad led a congregation of prophets, including Abraham, Moses, and Jesus, in prayer. This emphasized Muhammad's role as the final messenger in a line of prophets. After the prayer, Muhammad ascended to the heavens accompanied by Gabriel, leaving Buraq behind. 3. The Miraj, ascension. Muhammad's ascension through the heavens is described in multiple stages, each marked by encounters with different prophets, celestial beings, and divine phenomena. Muhammad passed through the 7 heavens, encountering various sights and wonders along the way. Each heaven is said to have different characteristics and inhabitants. In the highest heaven, Muhammad reached a place known as Sidrat al-Muntaha, where he had a direct encounter with Allah, God. This encounter is described in mystical terms, emphasizing the proximity between Muhammad and the divine. During this encounter, Allah ordained the obligation of the 5 daily prayers, salah, upon Muhammad and his followers. Initially, the obligation was set at 50 prayers, but it was later reduced to 5 after Muhammad's intercession. Muhammad also received other revelations and insights during his encounter with Allah. 4. Return to earth. After the ascension, Muhammad returned to Jerusalem, where he remounted Buraq. He then traveled back to Mecca, completing the miraculous journey before dawn.